Christian and Faithful travelled, they came to a place where an old monument stood, just by the side of the highway. As they looked at it, they were both very concerned because of the strangeness of it. It seemed to them as if a woman had been transformed into the shape of a pillar. They stood looking at it for quite a long time, trying to make out what it was. Hopeful noticed that above the head was the writing in an unusual hand, and he asked Christian if he could pick out the meaning. And after they looked at it for a little while, they came to this conclusion. It said, "Remember Lot's wife." They both concluded that the pillar of salt this was, into which Lot's wife turned, because she looked back with a covetous heart as she was leaving the city of Sodom looking for safety. It amazed them and gave them an opportunity to discuss. Christian said, "Oh, my brother, this is a very seasonable sight. It comes at an opportune moment for us after the invitation of Demas to go and pursue silver from the mine of Lucca. If we had gone, we'd have made ourselves like this woman, a spectacle for all who follow to behold." Hopeful said, "Well, I'm sorry. I was very foolish, and I'm made to wonder that I'm not now like Lot's wife. For the difference between her sin and mine, she looked back, and I desired to go and see. Let grace be adored, and let me be ashamed that ever such a thing should come into my heart." Christian said, "Let's take notice of what we see here, that it may be a help for time to come. This woman escaped one judgment, only to fall into another, and here we see her as a pillar of salt." Well, back on our little pilgrim walk, on their journey, Faithful and Hopeful come across a pillar of salt. It's from the Bible. It's the story of Lot's wife, and it's a very challenging story. You see, many people fail to follow the right path for love of money, and yet they never become rich. Some people fail to follow the right path to the celestial city because of love of fame, and they remain unknown all their days. The issue is not the thing itself, but the love of it. Many of us will say, look, we don't have this and we don't have that, but that's not the question. The question is, what do you desire? What do you love? And first and foremost, our love should be to follow the Lord Jesus Christ, to love God with all our heart, soul, and all our might, and to love our neighbours as ourselves. When something else takes its place, no matter how nice, and even at times how good, it takes us on a false path to a false end and to destruction. And so these two pilgrims are reminded as they escape the temptation of easy money, which was to them no temptation at all, except maybe a little bit to Hopeful, but certainly not to Christian. As they escape that temptation, the question is not what have you got, but what do you desire? Well, today let's consider carefully what our desires are, and may we make sure that our desires are the right things. Well, from me and my friend, what are you up to, Scooby? Have a good day.